Hi, my name is Paul Pasulka, Ivy Masters Learning Center and ivymasters.com. And today we're going to look at Test 3, Section 4, number 21, which reads, of the following 4 types of savings account plans, which option would yield exponential growth of the money in the account? And when we look at our answer choices, answer choice A, each successive year 2% of the initial savings is added to the value of the account. So if you see it talking about initial savings, a percent increase based on initial savings, it's actually not exponential, it's linear. And we're going to pick numbers just to show you how this works. So when you're doing this problem, if you just know this, 2% of initial savings is linear and not exponential, then you could just work through this problem without picking numbers, but most students will have to pick numbers to get this question correct. Answer choice B, each successive year 1.5% of the initial savings and $100 is added to the value of the account. It sounds like more growth. Students tend to associate more growth with exponential growth, but not the correct answer either. Answer choice C, each successive year 1% of the current value is added to the value of the account. That looks like a good answer. What makes answer choice C different? It's 1% of the current value. And again, we'll see how that works. And then in answer choice D, each successive year $100 is added to the value of the account. That is going to be linear as well. So it's not going to be D either. So if you're wondering why or how this is true, then if we look at answer choice A, 2% of the initial savings. First of all, whenever you're working with a percent problem, it's a good idea to work with 100. 100 is the easiest value to work with when you're working with percent problems. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to black out or white out part of the screen so I have a little room to work. And so let's say you have $100 in the account. If you're checking answer choice A, if it's 2% of the initial savings, 2% of $100 is $102. So after the first year, you're going to have $102. After the second year, if it's 2% of the initial savings added, it's going to be $104. And so what we see here, we would say this is year 0, this is year 1, this is year 2. The years are like your X. The dollar value is like your Y. And one concept for a linear equation is slope. There's a constant slope whenever you have the equation of a line. And you can see here that your slope is 2. For when your X increases 1, your Y increases 2. So the increase here, change in Y, is 2. The increase here, change in X, is 1. So that's a slope of 2, and it's constant from here as well. Increase 2, increase 1. So that's why it's not A. Answer choice B, each successive year 1.5% of the initial savings and $100 is added. So again, if you start with 100, 1.5% of the initial savings would be $101.50 plus 100 is going to be $201.50. And then the year after that, what would it be? It says 1.5% of the initial is increased. So that would be another $1.50 on top of it. So you would be at $203 at that point. But then it would wind up being $303 because you add that $100. And again, year 0, 1, 2. And here we see an increase of $101.50. And here we see an increase of another $101.50, where you have an increase of 1 and you have another increase of 1. So this is 101.5, sounds like the radio station, over 1, which is just 101.5. So that's a constant increase as well. Now, in answer choice C, each successive year, 1% of the current value is added to the value of the account. If you start with $100, then the second year, To increase by 1%, you'd actually multiply by 1.01, which would be 101. And what would we have the next year? Well, if we increase by 1%, you'd multiply by 1.01 again, and I'll just pull up the little on-screen calculator here. If you've got 101 times 1.01, you can see there you have $102.10. So here's year 0, here's year 1, here's year 2. You can see that this increase is $1, but this increase is $1.10. So when you increase 1 and you increase 1. So you can see your slope changes. Between here and here, your slope is 1. Between year 1 and 2, your slope is 1.1. So that is an indication of exponential growth. When your slope changes, if it increases each year, it's going to be exponential growth. And then answer choice D. If you've got $100 on year 0, and then each successive year, $100 added to the value of the account, year 2 would be $200, year 3 would be $300. So that's year, or 1 and 2. So here you see an increase of 100 when you see an increase of 1, increase of 100 when you see an increase of 1. So you can see that's 100 over 1, which is a slope of 100. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You could share it with someone who has trouble with distinguishing between exponential and linear growth, or you could tag them in the comments. And if there's any question that you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, feel free to leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.